just put the message in the group also. Hello, check, check, check.
I think they will be able to hear us. It's not a very big voice.
Okay.
We'll have to speak loud enough for them to catch, but तुम्हारा तो आवाज is like good.
I've been a trainer also.
Yeah.
I've been a trainer for IFRS since last 8 years. I
Oh.
still teach.
Oh,
From
really?
weekend.
Huh?
I do most IFRS, most companies.
Huh.
They're students, they're employees. I teach them IFRS.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how I started with Zen in
Interesting.
2017.
So he says he's a trainer still. Like, and at ICICI, he was a trainer.
So I'll quickly introduce the crowd.
Yeah.
So these are students of 11th and 12th commerce.
Okay.
Right? Anyone from humanities? No. Okay. So they are from commerce, from various schools of
Okay.
Ahmedabad.
Okay.
And we have started this series called Commerce Panorama,
Okay.
where essentially we are having one episode to deep dive into various fields, various career options for commerce and humanities.
Okay.
So we did the first one in general, which was careers in management. The second one we did at Ahmedabad University, which was titled Careers in Liberal Studies.
Okay.
And today we wanted to specifically talk about finance.
Okay.
So that's why we have you.
Okay.
And some of them would be interested in pursuing careers specifically in finance. Some of them would be interested in BBA kind of courses and then take a call whether they want to choose finance or not. Some of them would be confused between the kind of courses within finance. So I kind of asked them that what are the questions that you want me to cover today.
Okay.
And some of the questions were common. So we'll anyway go through them. I'm not going to give you the hint. So we'll catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Done.
Do I have to speak or you are just waiting? Perfect. Should we start? The link is live.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome everyone to the third episode of Commerce Panorama. And as the title of the show is, we are going to talk about careers in finance. And we have two wonderful guests. So Neha ma'am has been a personal mentor for me and for Keystone. And she is the director at Shanti Business School. So when I thought about launching something like this, my first call was to her. It is sad that this is the third episode, but the first confirmation that I had was from ma'am. And when I spoke to her about this kind of an initiative, she was very kind to kind of allow all of us to be at this beautiful campus. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. I'm privileged that I have so many young, fresh-looking faces. Thanks for bringing them on to the campus. They add to the energy of the campus. Thank you, guys.
And when we spoke about finance, ma'am also said that we would be very happy to have sir with us who has a CA background, ACCA background. So we would love to hear more about what you have done, sir, from you.
Sure.
And yes, this is our audience. So without any further ado, let's start. And I think the introductions can happen as we go along. So I'll start with the most basic question, which I think is a broadly misunderstood or under understood term, and that is the difference between the two subjects or the two streams, which we call accounts and finance. Right? We often use them interchangeably,
Yeah.
but coming from someone who is in the field of finance and who is a chartered accountant, I would love to hear this answer from you.
Okay. So I'll give a quick introduction about myself to everyone. My name is Aditya Sheth. I am a qualified chartered accountant and an ACCA member. Okay. Everyone knows what is an ACCA? So ACCA is UK CA. In a very brief introduction, if I had to give about ACCA, it's UK's CA basically. That's what I've done. I completed in 2014 after my chartered accountancy. So I've worked with many MNCs over my 15 years of experience. I started with articleship in a very small firm in Bombay, KS Iyer, which anyone would have heard about. It's a very small firm. Then I did my industrial training at ICICI Securities in finance team. After that, after qualifying, I joined Grant Thornton. You are aware of Grant Thornton? So Grant Thornton is one of the big five companies in the world, one of the big five consultancy companies in the world. They take up, you have heard about Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC. So Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC, and Grant Thornton. Grant Thornton is the fifth largest. So I was in the audit team for around close to 4 years. Then I joined ICICI again full time, and I was in their finance team for 5 years. And since 2022, I'm with Z Education. I'm heading their finance, legal, and business growth team. And I also happen to be a trainer of IFRS. IFRS is nothing but accounting. So I happen to be a teacher of IFRS since 2017. So the question that he has asked is very relevant and very interesting, which students or even most of the people who are pursuing a career in accounts and finance are also confused about the difference between accounts and finance. Even I was confused myself. So I always, whenever whoever used to ask me, what do you want to, which field do you want to go in, I always say, मेरे को finance में काम करना है. And finance, trust me, is a word which is as large as an ocean. It is not something, when you say finance, it is not one thing which comes under finance. The role that I did in ICICI Securities was finance, was core finance. And I would also like to say that it was investment banking kind of a role. So my role was day-to-day basis. What I used to do is we used to trade in securities, government securities and equity on a daily basis. My role was to do an analysis of what happened previous day, how much profit we made out of those deals, and what is it that led to this movement. That is pure investment banking role. Okay, of analyzing what has happened in the previous day, how the profit happened. That is pure investment banking role. But that is an investment banking role from perspective of a company. Now, if you see an investment banking role, there is also one more line item one more branch, I would like to call it as, which you are looking at it from the perspective of an investor. Like you are an investor and I am taking care of it. That's also investment banking for me as an employee. Another part of my role in finance also was making financial statement, which I would not like to call it as a part of finance. That is core accounting. So accounting and finance both are a separate stream. Accounts means you are hardcore doing accounting entries on a daily basis. Whatever are the transactions that has happened from your bank account or any transactions that your company has entered into, recording them in your books of accounts is accounting. Presenting them and making sense out of it is what is finance.
Yeah.
What the company has done in a particular month or quarter or year, when you are analyzing all of this, is finance role. That is how broadly I would like to categorize accounts and finance. It's not same. Finance has multiple branches in there. Investment banking is one of it, like I mentioned. Fundraising is another branch of finance. Data analysis is also a branch of finance only. So you have multiple roles in finance. It's not just restricted to one role.
Perfect. Right. So now that we have broadly understood accounts and finance, where accounts is essentially about bookkeeping, if I may call it that way, and finance is taking decisions, analyzing them, and then helping the management take decisions on that.
Yeah.
Where do you think, how are the future of careers going to happen in the field of accounts and finance? Ma'am, if you would want to answer, or Aditya, whoever would want to go.
I'll take it up and then I'll pass it on to Aditya. So normally at this age, is Umar mein, you also have a doubt whether you want to go in for finance. As Aditya said, that he thought he wanted to go into finance and then he ended up completing his chartered accountancy, doing a chartered accountant's work. And after that, when he shifted, he realized that finance is something different. So the first thing that students at your age with so much of information around. Look, when we were making decisions and when he was making decision, so much of information was not available. So you have to be clear whether you want to go into accounting role or you want to go into finance role. Finance, the spectrum is bigger, larger, from technical application to closer to accounting. Everything in between is available. But that does not mean that there is no scope for accounting. Accounting is the basic process which happens in any company. And as long as businesses are there, accounting role will also remain there where it is. But not everybody is suited for repetitive, same kind of jobs. And therefore, if you want to look further, have a broader spectrum, start looking at, are you interested in finance? In accounting, as he did, as you would do, it has to start now, and perhaps you will have to start enroll for your chartered accountancy and start to complete your chartered accountancy course. That would largely be the only option today, or then UK or a US chartered accountancy. But if you decide you are going to be in finance, then you may start with a management course with a specialization in finance, and you still have some time till you complete your graduation to explore which stream of finance you want to go into. Is it investment banking? Is it forex dealing? Is it into the new, more technologically oriented fintech management? That is where you want. The places are unlimited and you have enough time for you. That is what, as a layman, as a teacher, I would tell you. Right? More technically, he may be able to tell you.
Sure. So, like he asked, where do you see this going? So, one question that every accounting student, or today also that I teach IFRS to students on weekend, they ask me this very interesting question. Do you think AI will take up our jobs? Accounting is something which is more susceptible to be taken over by AI. That is what everyone feels. So I don't believe that, by the way. I don't think AI is going to take up accounting role. I'll tell you why. The term that you mentioned is good. You mentioned that term bookkeeping. So why did we used to call this as bookkeeping? So traditionally, what used to happen when computers were not there, the accounts used to be prepared on books. I don't know, you guys would never have seen this, but I think ma'am would be able to relate to it. There was a journal which used to come,
Yeah.
which had a columns also for debit, credit, and writing your date and everything. They were made only like that. उसमें ही journal entries people used to pass. I don't know if you guys would have seen that or
इसलिए
not.
उसको जर्नल एंट्री
Sorry?
कहते हैं.
Correct. So these guys would not know that. So that role we used to call people. There was a term for people. Used to be Munimji bolte the, that he used to pass entries in those books of accounts. Now after that, the revolution came of computers and Tally came. Tally software आया. So did Munimji's role got taken over by Tally? No, because there has to be some person who has to feed in the data of what entry to be passed. So after that, again a revolution came. Softwares like Tally and all of that started becoming outdated. SAP and more advanced ERP and bespoke softwares came in. Again, the fundamental remained the same. There has to be a person who has to tell the system what to debit and what to credit. Now, you might say, I'll fit in a logic. So we have done it. I have done it in my company. So in Zell, I have done it myself. When I joined in 2022, we used to do accounting entries manually. There was a 5 people team used to do the entries manually. We changed it from last year. We had our CRM software, a sales software connected to our accounting software, and we fed in that every entry has to be done automatically only. If the logic is straightforward, why does anyone have to do it manually every day? Who did that logic in first place? If you go and tell ChatGPT, मेरा दोनों sales software और accounting software को link कर दो, ChatGPT will not be able to do it. If you go to an IT expert, मेरा CRM, sales software or accounting software merge कर दो, he will not be able to do it. Even if he is an expert in AI. Why? Do you know why he will not be able to do it?
Accounting का
He
logic.
is not an expert in accounting. You will need an expert in accounting to tell the software what entry to pass when each complication arises. And trust me, from my 15 years of experience in accounts and finance, complications never end. There are always complications that happen every day. Even if you think कि आज तो सारे complication हो गए, something new will definitely come up tomorrow. And for that, human intervention will be required. AI will not be able to solve this. So today, all of those 5 people that I had who were doing manual entries, they're still in my company. I have not replaced them because my entries are automated. I got new work out of them. So what used to happen? So if you see the timeline of what has happened, Munimji's work has not got replaced by AI. It's just that he had to upskill himself to be adapted to the technology.
Correct.
So what you guys will have to do is you'll have to continuously upskill yourself with what is happening or what are the current trends, what is changing in the accounting world or what is changing in the finance world. You have to keep yourself updated with that. So your jobs are never going to be replaced by AI. It's just that you'll have to develop now new skill set on how to better use the AI in your current role. That is what is going to be helpful. And if you are able to pick that up, then your job will you'll never be replaced by AI. Trust me.
But since these are 11th, 12th students where they have the choice, they have the time in front of them. So I have questions in 2 parts. The first is, we said that accounts is different, finance is different. A, with the subjects that they have, that is accounts, economics, statistics, business studies, applied math, entrepreneurship, how do they take a judgment call whether should they go in the accounts field or finance field, or they don't need to take that choice today and that choice can be taken later on?
Yeah.
So that would be the part A of the question, then I'll ask the part B.
So, you decided that you're not going into science and you opted for commerce. We have to make a choice at some point in time. But can you say that commerce, science was a less better or a lesser choice and commerce is a better choice? No, they both have their own places. The similar logic applies here also. Accounts or finance, both have their utility and both have their places. If as an educator you ask me, whatever choice you make, be prepared for long-term learning. Be prepared that wherever you will go, you will have to keep on upscaling yourself and upskilling yourself. I was just before coming here, I was talking to him. Me and our parents, we used to have a doctor जो कि MBBS होता था. आज आप में से कितने लोग MBBS डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे? Even for your small fever, you look कि MD, MS है या नहीं है. So similarly, at one point in time, chartered accountancy was the highest and the best qualification. But we cannot freeze anything in time कि ये उस समय बेस्ट था इसलिए वो आज भी है. ये 50, 55, 60 years पहले वो बेस्ट था. After that, now even a chartered accountant, the most successful chartered accountants, if you go and talk to them, they would have added something or else other to their qualification to remain relevant. So MBA आपने finance में कर दिया, that's not the end or all of it. You may have to do some other courses later on As you progress in your career in investment banking, you may have to keep on learning the new technological upgradations which are coming. So make a choice and then don't doubt that choice. That is important. The choice that you have made, stick to it, give it the best, and the best will come to you. If you keep on doubting your choice by every other person who comes and gives you advice, then you are in trouble. Because too many choices or pursuing too many things at the same time will definitely spoil your broth or your dessert. It will not taste. हम रेसिपी के हिसाब से बनाते हैं ना उसको, अपने हिसाब से ज़्यादा उसमें चेंजेस करते हैं, the taste gets spoiled. So as an educator, I would like to tell you, in growing field, finance in this world is a sunrise place. Finance, the importance of accounting and finance, whatever we say, it is not going to diminish. The way technology is growing, similarly finance requirements are also going to grow. It's not going to go away tomorrow. There are some skills which may vanish tomorrow, but this is not vanishing. Whatever you choose, then give it your, you want to be a CA, give that 18 hours of studies to become a CA in the first attempt. Otherwise, don't even think of going that side. Then go for a BBA or any other management degree and go towards the finance side.
So I would suggest, if I was in your place, so like ma'am also previously mentioned that we didn't have so much awareness about when I was pursuing. So I'm from Gujarat only, by the way. I'm staying in Bombay right now since last 20 years, but I am from Gujarat. So there's a small town near Surat called Navsari. So I'm from there, by the way. Most of you must have heard also about it. So you can imagine you all are still in a big metro. Ahmedabad is a big city as compared to Navsari. So I didn't know what I had to do in life. मेरे को खाली था I want to do something in finance, and that is also because I was not at that point I was not so sure that whether I'll be able to whether I'll be a good student in science or not. So that's the only reason why I took up commerce, because ये तो हो ही जाएगा, मतलब science तो नहीं होगा अपने से, तो commerce में कुछ तो कर ही लेंगे मतलब. So I didn't know what to do, but I knew that I want to do something in finance and accounts only. So I didn't have these options available what you guys have right now. If I was in your place and if I had to choose from plethora of options that are in front of me, and if I want a career in accounts and finance, I would start with something basic like a BBA or a BCom program. I would start with that in finance. BCom doesn't have a finance, BBA has a finance stream specifically for this. I would start with that right now. After that, I would ask myself a second question. What specific field I want to go in? Do I want to go in accounts? Do I want to go in finance? If you want to go in accounts, you should take up something like a CA or an ACCA or a CPA. If you want to go in finance, which is more towards investment banking, data analysis, equity research, any such fields, do a CFA. Both of them have separate pros and cons. CFA is difficult. So I'm also a CFA level 1 cleared, which I did it when I was in ICICI Securities. After that, I couldn't do it because it required a lot of studies. So I didn't register only for L2. So I stopped at level 1 only. So that's the rigor that you require to clear CFA. It's not so easy. But if you are pursuing undergraduation, you can very well do it while you are pursuing undergraduation. You can do it. But like ma'am also mentioned, you should not stop at one professional degree. I stopped at one professional degree because my career fortunately took off and I didn't need to study for another degree. Today the world has become so competitive. Like earlier, if you would have asked your parents, खाली BCom करने के बाद भी job मिल रहा था. Now, if you have done only BCom, it has absolutely zero value. If you have done BBA in finance, it is considered a little bit above BCom, but still it doesn't have value on its own. You need to have minimum 2 professional qualification in this age to survive and get a good job. So with CA or an ACCA, you will get a good job. After that, like ma'am mentioned, you will have to upskill yourself and pursue another degree. So I would suggest get into BBA finance right now, because of course you guys are in this seminar because you want a career in finance. Go for BBA in finance right now. But along with that, don't just stick to BBA finance. Pick up a degree. That degree can be ACCA, CFA, CPA, CA, CIMA, any degree you can pick it up. Now all of them have different streams. So like with an ACCA, CA we have similar rules, by the way, that are available for you guys. CPA is only focused on US. So it's only US based. If you are planning to shift to US, you'll have to do CPA. CMA is only costing. If you want to do rules, if you want to do a job only in costing, cost analysis or cost accountant, do CMA. If you want to do something in risk management, do FRM. Okay. And there are other certifications also that are available. So there are industry certifications also that ma'am is also running in the school. There are fintech certifications by Deloitte. There is an applied finance with MBA that also Deloitte is doing it over here. So there are added certifications also which are available. So start with something along with BBA in finance. Along the way, like how I figured out, so I picked up my first job was in audit only, and at that time I also didn't know. So one of my relatives told me that if you are not sure where you want to go right now, pick up a role in audit. Why audit? Audit covers everything. You are going to a company, you are looking at their transactions, you are looking at the company as a whole. You are not focusing on only accounting. You are also looking at their legal cases. You are also looking at their tax issues. You are also looking at what is happening financially. You are reading their data. You are analyzing what has happened in each year. You are doing everything for that company. Okay, you are kind of a watchdog for that company. She told me that pick up a role in audit. You will figure out on your own where your interest lies. If your interest is in tax, you will automatically take up a job in tax ultimately. If your interest is in finance, you will look for a role in finance. If your interest turns out to be in accounting, look for a role in accounting. So take up a degree. If you are not sure right now, take up a degree which covers everything, like a chartered accountancy or an ACCA or a CFA. If you are very clear, I want to do something in finance, take up CFA from today only. So that is what I would suggest you. If you are not clear right now, do something in chartered accountancy or a CPA. After that, eventually you will figure out where you are interested in, and then you can pursue a specialization in that. I think that should answer your question. Where should they start from right now?
So they are in 11th or 12th, and they are not exactly sure whether they should take up a career in accounts or finance.
Yeah.
And so therefore your suggestion is go broad, try to keep options open, because most of these things you will realize only when you actually get into it, right? I'm an engineer, and I have told you multiple times that even after the second year of my mechanical engineering, I didn't know what is mechanical engineering. So it's only once you kind of spend some time there, you realize ki wo kya hai. And therefore my personal favorite, and I am biased because of the MBA degree, ki go for all the options until unless you are very clear कि मेरे को finance ही करना है, take up a specialization course. Otherwise pick up various aspects, because eventually the future is for those leaders and managers who are able to connect the dots. You can't become a CEO and say कि नहीं HR के problem मेरे पास मत आओ क्योंकि मेरा तो finance में degree है. You can't say that. आपको problem solve करने ही पड़ेंगे. And as we have discussed in the past, eventually you have to learn to become problem solvers, because the market is going to reward you for your problem solving skills. वो आप finance में कर सकते हो, marketing में कर सकते हो. ये all these various certifications and all these fancy names are tools for you to get to that position quickly. अगर आपके पास सर्टिफिकेशन होगा, दैट्स अ प्रॉक्सी, है ना, सिग्नलिंग बोलते हैं इसको. सिग्नलिंग क्या होता है कि हाउ वुड द इंटरव्यूअर नो कि यू आर स्मार्ट. सबके पास उतना टाइम नहीं होगा कि आपके साथ आधा घंटा 1 घंटे का इंटरव्यू करे, और उसमें भी सब पता नहीं होता है. आधे 1 घंटे में इट इज फेयरली इजी फॉर यू टू काइंड ऑफ इम्प्रेस समवन. But if you have a certification or if you have studied from a good college, that's a signaling mechanism to the interviewing panel, to your future prospective manager. यार ये person कर पाएगा अच्छा, है ना? So therefore all these various options are available, And yes, it would sound very overwhelming today, and we'll try to break it down.
Yes.
And let's try to break
Yeah.
down all the various careers in finance. Thoda, if we can go from the most traditional and the basic ones to some of the new emerging ones that are there, so that they at least know कि इतने options में से we'll have to choose something.
Yeah.
So what would be the most traditional, most basic option in account/finance careers?
That has to be chartered accountancy.
Chartered accountancy with a
Which
BCom.
is BCom with CA.
BCom
or
with
BCom
CA.
with ACCA will be your base.
Yes.
Most simple.
I would like to
Yeah,
add
yeah.
something there. So, as he said, that is the most traditional and basic. When I'm saying traditional, when it started, because there were degrees in humanities, science, and commerce. तो चार्टेड अकाउंटेंसी कोई परसू कर रहा होता था तो उसके लिए बेस्ट फिट जो निकलता था वो बीकॉम निकलता था. Rather than going for science or humanities, you chose BCom to go with that. ऐसे तो चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट को डिग्री करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. But to keep a second option, a degree was seen as required. At that time, BBA was not available.
Yeah.
Had it been available, a BBA with CA, it broad bases your pursuit. आपको ज़्यादा ऑप्शन मिल जाते हैं. तो चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट से आप करना चाहते हो तो भी आप BBA भी कर सकते हो साथ में, राइट? एंड दैट इज बिकमिंग अ more favored choice of students who are pursuing chartered accountancy these days, because right from the beginning it gives you diverse exposure, not just in accounting and finance but other aspects of management also. Finance और accountancy choose करके आपने ये तो पक्का तय कर लिया है कि आप business की साइड में जा रहे हो, आप मैनेजमेंट की साइड में जा रहे हो. You are leaving the other fashion world, उसके बाद में लाइफ साइंसेस की दुनिया, इंजीनियरिंग की दुनिया, वो आप एक तरफ छोड़कर जा रहे हो. You are into business and management. So some knowledge of everything that together makes management is always good.
Perfect. So we start with BCom CA, BBA CA.
BBA
CA or BCom CA. BBA, like ma'am mentioned, BBA is also a good enough field. BBA in finance is good enough because that will see chartered accountancy courses are the base of chartered accountancy courses is finance and accounts. And if you are doing an undergrad degree which is specially designed in finance only, which BCom is not, by the way. BCom is not designed to be only finance specific. BBA is designed to be finance specific. So that would make more sense and that would give you more clarity. Your base would be very strong for CA. Now, many students might feel that CA, because CA has a reputation of being a very scary degree, that ये तो clear होगा ही नहीं इतना जल्दी, and it requires a lot of efforts. So there are alternatives to CA also. You can pursue an MBA in finance. That is also so. Today, our company or any, for that matter, even Big Fours, they have started giving MBA in finance as a slash after CA. If you have not done CA, if they also consider MBA in finance for a similar role only, for the same role, same package, everything would be same. So if you have not done chartered accountancy, if you have done MBA in finance, they would consider you equal only. It is not going to be considered as something lesser. Only thing is you'll have to have a relevant work experience then.
Fair.
So yeah, base should start.
So we have BCom. So we are just trying to kind of jot down all the different careers that we have. So one is the BCom plus obviously CA. Then we have BBA plus CA. What else?
MBA plus finance.
MBA
There's
plus
also
finance.
a very good combination of MBA ACCA. So which is an integrated program that ACCA body runs with MBA and BBA both. So this is also an interesting product. So which we are also doing it at multiple universities now, which was not there during my time. So how CA has multiple levels. So there is level 1 which is CPT, level 2 which is IPCC, and there is a final level. ACCA and CA both are equal, by the way. The salary packages of an ACCA and CA are exactly same in India also. Okay. So ACCA also has levels. There is level 1, level 2 and level 3. Now, what happens with this unique integrated programs that ACCA body has started is, if you are pursuing a BBA plus ACCA or an MBA plus ACCA, your level 1 and 2 gets exempted. The level 1 and 2 studies, why these papers are getting exempted for you? The papers of level 1 and 2, you will study it along with BBA or along with MBA.
Right.
With your core degree, you will study these first two levels.
Right.
You only have to give last level, which has 3 or 4 papers. You only have to give those 4 papers and you get a chartered accountancy degree. So if not CA or if not BBA with CA, I would opt for either BBA ACCA integrated program or MBA ACCA integrated program, which accelerates my pathway to chartered accountancy.
Right. So I hope you guys are getting a hang of it. सारी चीज़ें अभी fully समझ आए, that's not necessary. At least you must be trying to understand कि क्या क्या ये different terms हैं. So BCom with CA, BBA with CA, then we talk about ACCA जो सर ने बताया एकदम basic भाषा में, that is UK का CA, right? So these are some of the options that we have.
Yeah.
When we talk about some more of the fancy jargons, investment
Yeah.
banking, equity
Yeah.
research,
Yeah.
if you could throw some light कि finance में further क्या branches हो जाती है?
So then, if you want to go into investment banking or equity research, then there are 2 programs, FRM and CFA. CFA is of course the more popular one. FRM is a certification program only, and it takes around a year to crack. So,
FRM का full form if you, because
financial risk management. So FRM is financial risk management. So that will give you more jobs towards equity research and equity analyst kind of a role. CFA, everyone knows CFA, right?
Yeah.
CFA is more of a hardcore finance only, but it doesn't just have finance. That also has some aspects of accounting. CFA also has IFRS as a subject in all 3 levels. So usme bhi accounting you will study. So it's not that you are only going to study finance. It has ethics also, which is nothing related to finance.
Yeah.
So level 1 has ethics also. Level 1 has quant also, maths. So it has everything. So CFA is also a very good degree. But the problem with CFA is that currently only roles for CFA, there are a lot of opportunities available, but they are very picky in selecting a candidate. For a CFA, if you have qualified CFA, they are very picky in it. You need to have a lot of relevant internship experience while you have completed your CFA degree. So, and that goes without saying for all the degrees. Your internship before you qualify for a degree is extremely important. Most of the students these days feel कि नहीं हमारे पास time नहीं है. With our undergraduation or with our MBA, we don't have the bandwidth to do any internship. We need our work-life balance or we need our personal space. If you want to succeed in your career, you should forget the term personal space and work-life balance. So you will not get it if you want to succeed in your career. You will not have a successful career. If you go behind your personal space and your work-life balance, you will not have a successful career. Trust me. You need to have good internship while you are pursuing your CFA. Only then you will get good roles. Otherwise, you will not get a good role. So I would place CFA also as a very good degree, but a tough one to crack, similar to a CA. And opportunities are also brilliant. The salary packages are also brilliant, but it requires a lot of effort to crack.
So we, in terms of degrees, and we will come to the certifications later.
Yeah.
So we have BCom, we have BBA, and then we have something called BSc Finance.
Yeah.
How is that different from BCom or a BBA?
BSc Finance, I am not too sure about. If ma'am would like to throw some light on that.
So there are 2 education systems that are currently running in this country. One is the traditional Indian system, which was borrowed from the UK system, and other which has come from the US. If you see all the degrees in US, they are generally the science of that particular thing. The science of economics, the science of finance, right?
The science of arts.
So, the science of, even the science of psychology, etc. So, मोटा मोटी आप लोगों को अगर समझाना है मुझे, तो कोई बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है where would the difference arise? Where would you it matter कि आपने बीकॉम किया है या बीबीए किया है या बीएससी इन फाइनेंस किया है आपने, अगर आपको अपने पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के लिए यूएसए जाना है, if you have decided that for your post graduation you want to go to a US university, then taking a course, undergoing a course जिसका कि नॉमेनक्लेचर उनको फेमिलियर है, वो करना आपके लिए बेटर है. वाई डू इंडियन यूनिवर्सिटीज ऑफर बीएससी? ऐसा क्यों? ताकि वो आपको बता सके कि ये कुछ अलग है. क्योंकि ट्रेडिशनल गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ जो होंगी उसके अंदर हमेशा बीकॉम, बीबीए, बीए यही डिग्रीज मिलेंगी. इट इज़ ओनली द प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ विच कैन चेंज द नॉमेनक्लेचर. सो यूएस अगर आपका डेस्टिनेशन है तो 4 years की बीएससी डिग्री कीजिए. द जर्नी बिकम्स ईजियर फॉर यू. दैट्स द ओनली डिफरेंस. Otherwise, curriculum you can always compare with each other. You can take the curriculum syllabus, as you know, of 2 universities and see what are the subjects they are teaching. Finance है, अगर finance आप पढ़ रहे हो तो accounting को BSc में क्या पढ़ाएंगे? Accounting ही पढ़ाएंगे ना, right?
So broadly, the decisions are not as many as overwhelming as it sounds. Basically, आपका एक BCom का option है और एक BBA का option है. BBA is also more management oriented, more business oriented, and BSc Finance also will be similar to that. अब between BCom and BBA का decision आपको लेना है. So if you want to get into more traditional commerce oriented fields, then obviously there is BCom. अगर आपको थोड़े decision making oriented, management oriented, economics, finance, marketing, HR, psychology ऐसे multiple aspects पे at least basic knowledge build करना है, so then BBA kind of courses would be better for you, right? So that is the broad division between these two. Now ma'am, even in terms of the students that you would be getting at undergraduate level, what would be some of the traits जो आप देखते हो उन बच्चों में which you feel set them apart, जिनकी वजह से they are able to take up these undergraduation courses better, and what would be the learnings for these students in 11th and 12th? What are the fundamental things that they should be working on today so that they can be absorbed in good universities?
For a BBA?
Yeah, for BBA.
Any higher education, you should be at skill level, you should be looking at the future of skills. आप लोग तो इतना अपना Google यूज़ करते हो ना, whenever you get time, you have to just type the future skills. And there are certain 4-5 skills that will come in front of you. Whichever domain area of studies you are choosing, irrespective of these skills do matter. First, your communication skill. Communication skill, whether you are a chartered accountant, whether you are a CFA, whether tomorrow you want to be an investment banker or you want to be your ultimate goal is to be the CFO of a company or the CEO of the company. It is the communication skill which will take you there. So don't shy away from speaking, putting your thoughts across, organizing. A good communication does not become good by itself. Just because you know a language, you do not become a good communicator. You should know how to organize your thought and how to speak. So keep on practicing that. It is not that the day you will become a chartered accountant or a CFO is the day you will need to communicate. उसकी तैयारी, जीत की तैयारी पहले से शुरू करनी पड़ती है ना. So communication is one. The second thing, in some other courses, it might not matter, but courses in finance and related to management, your analytical and logical skills. How you can take something, study it and make sense out of it. कोई भी आपको कुछ numbers दे दिए, कोई facts figures दे दिए, how do you make sense out of it? The way he said that data entry करा है, लेकिन उसके बाद उसका मतलब क्या है? And it does not end here. You should be able to explain it to somebody else. You can only explain things well if you yourself understand it. So my second advice here is that people who are absolutely scared of numbers, there are some people, उनको 2 भी लिखा हुआ दिखता है ना, तो their brain freezes कि I cannot go ahead of it. Even if by chance you have opted for commerce stream and you think you are such a person, after 12th would be a good time to get out of this space and choose something else for yourself. Because making sense of numbers, analysis, analytics is very, very important skill in this area. Technology. Not all who use technology today are engineers. Engineers have become the creators of technology.
Yeah.
But we all should know how to use it. So don't be, third thing, don't be scared of using technology. I know your generation doesn't get scared, but most of the time we sit with people of my age जो अपने एक्सपीरियंस से आपको बोलते हैं ये टेक्नोलॉजी वक्नोलॉजी कुछ नहीं होता है, हाथ से काम करना आना चाहिए. इट वॉज ट्रू फॉर माई एज, इट इज नॉट ट्रू फॉर यू. My generation has not experienced what your generation is going to live through. So go ahead, embrace technology. देखो क्या एप्स हैं इस एरिया में, AI के कौन से एप्स आ रहे हैं जो हमारे एरिया में यूज़ हो सकते हैं. आप ना भी यूज़ करना चाहो तो उसको एक्सप्लोर तो करो कम से कम. So 3 things, and the 4th skill is your ability to keep learning. We call it learnability quotient. आप कितना कौन सी नई चीज़ जल्दी से जल्दी सीख सकते हो. So all the 4 taken together are related to your personality, they are related to your domain, numbers, they are related to your attitude, and the 4th one is related to your urge to get ahead. 4 important skills. Carry them with you.
And very well said. And all of these things are such कि जो आप आज practice कर सकते हो. So becoming a great communicator generally starts by becoming a great listener, right? So there would be some of you who would be noting things down. There would be some of you who would be just writing an essay, and there would be some of you who would be structuring what you are listening. आज ये सेम चीज़ अगर मैम ने ऐसे ही एज एन ऐसे बोली होती तो इट वुड हैव बीन वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू रिमेंबर. बट मैम क्लियरली सेड 1, 2, 3, 4, then reiterated them, connected them with the domain, connected them with personality. So that helps you to remember things. और अगर आप एक नॉर्मल क्लासरूम में भी अपनी नोट्स को भी अच्छे से लिखने लग गए, that will change how you become at communication. Because we generally feel कि यार जिसकी इंग्लिश अच्छी होगी वो बेटर कम्युनिकेशन कर पाएगा. दैट्स नॉट ट्रू. देयर आर सो मेनी लीडर्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड दैट वी हैव सीन हु डू नॉट हैव अ ग्रेट command over a particular language. I have worked very closely with Gautam Adani. He is not good at English, but he is very good at communication because he is very clear, and clarity comes through structure. And उसके लिए आपका अच्छा listener बनना बहुत important है. So just by the way you guys are sitting, I can tell, and all of us can tell कि कौन सुन रहा है कौन नहीं सुन रहा है. Right? Very easy for us to tell. So it all begins there. And numbers. And I was going to ask this question कि finance के careers में how important is math? While most of them have already made the decision, how many of you have taken math? At least the CBSE students. Okay. How many are from Gujarat board? Okay, so you don't have math, but are you practicing math in some way or the other? So that is a choice. So how important is math in finance?
So I am not a fan of maths. and fortunately, I have progressed. I mean, I've had a good career in finance, but I'm not a fan of maths, by the way. And I used to barely pass. I was in Bombay. I was in college, so I don't know how it works in Gujarat. We were given a choice in 11th and 12th. I don't know how it works over here or how it works now. We were given a choice. एक एसपी करके एक सब्जेक्ट होता था, सेक्रेटरियल प्रैक्टिस,
SPCC गुजरात बोर्ड में होता है.
एंड नेक्स्ट वाज मैथ्स. सो 11th में जोश में मैथ्स ले लिया. ये क्या हो गया, उसमें मैथ्स कर लेंगे, उसमें क्या है. आई टुक मैथ्स एंड आई कुड बेयरली पास इन मैथ्स. सो 12th में शिफ्ट कर लिया. नहीं, अपना एसपी ठीक है, मैथ्स नहीं करेंगे हम. सो फ्रॉम दैट डे, from my college days till today, maths has been very important as someone who's heading a finance team or someone who has done a career after chartered accountancy, ACC, whatever. But I would say don't be scared of maths. The actual questions that you are solving right now, जो theorems होंगे या जो भी होगा, that is not gonna help you in your real life. Okay, that is never going to help you in your real life. The practical examples are just for books, and I always use this example when I'm teaching my students. The examples that you get in school or in college, that John had 500 apples, for example, John ate 100 apples. Practically John kabhi 100 apple nahi kha payega, and so this doesn't happen practically. You'll never get such practical examples in your real the examples that you are getting, theoretical examples that you are having in your books, you will never get them in your practical life. So don't worry about maths. Just live through it for 1 more year or 2 more years, 11th or 12th, just live through it. After that, it is your instinct which matters a lot. How you are able to make sense out of those numbers is what matters if you want to make a career in finance. If you are very great at maths, but you are not able to figure out कि ये number का मैं करूँ क्या बाद में, then you being a very good at maths has zero relevance then. So maths is important, basic math is important. When you are sitting in front of data, when you are sitting in front of a client, if he throws some number at you, you should be able to make some sense out of it. That is where your maths knowledge should be at. Bus. You don't need to be a mathematician to make a career in finance, is what I would say.
So, as I said, don't be scared of numbers.
Yeah.
Maths, unfortunately for you people, is the same maths as the science people, whereas you wouldn't need that kind of. But agar numbers don't make sense to you, then finance and accounting is not perhaps the place for you. So don't be scared of numbers.
You'll have to look at numbers every day.
Yes.
In finance and accounts. But you don't have to use your math skills.
खून से डर लगे तो डॉक्टर नहीं बन सकते ना आप. ये this is numbers are the blood. They are the life blood of finance.
I'll ask an even tougher question, ma'am. How important are board marks?
Genuinely, at a practical level, if you are going through a competitive exam after that, board marks for your next step may not matter. But having said that, I have still not encountered any big 4, big 5 company coming to my campus and not asking for 10th grade marks or 12th grade marks. So if they have to choose amongst like 45 of you sitting here, they cannot take all 45. They wouldn't want, if they have to take an interview, 45-minute interview of each one of you, they wouldn't put in that kind of time. So what will they do? The first thing they will do? ग्रेजुएशन में कितने मार्क्स थे, ठीक है, उससे भी बहुत सारे आ गए. 12th में मार्क्स बताओ, 10th में मार्क्स बताओ, सबके फर्स्ट क्लास होना चाहिए. अरे ऑल 45 हैव फर्स्ट मार्क्स, 75% से ऊपर होना चाहिए, 85. they will keep on putting that. This is one aspect of it. You would say, मेरे को तो अपना business करना है, right? So how does the marks matter? You will keep on seeing your CV day in and day out. The day you are not feeling so confident about yourself and you see your 12th marks, you haven't yet got your 12th mark, but it brings a smile on your face. That is enough to give you the confidence that if under so much of pressure, I could do this in 12th or I could do this in 10th, I can overcome any obstacle. For yourself, 10th is already gone, 12th marks are extremely important. Don't take it lightly. I always say I can look at the desktop of a person and tell कि उनकी अलमारी कैसी होगी. If the desktop is organized, their cupboard would also be organized. So अगर आपकी मेहनत करने की आदत है, आप 12th के लिए मेहनत कर रहे हैं, आप CA के लिए भी मेहनत करेंगे, आप हर चीज़ के लिए मेहनत करेंगे, आप अपनी हॉबी के लिए भी मेहनत करेंगे, आप अपनी दोस्ती में भी मेहनत करेंगे. मेहनत करने की आदत डालो, 12th में मार्क्स अपने आप आ जाएंगे बेटा. 12th के लिए कोई अलग से जाके नहीं पढ़ना पड़ता है.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to use it. Great. So yeah, I think there is no better way to re-emphasize कि it may not always seem, है ना, वो websites जब universities की देखोगे तो many of these universities may not have a board के marks का weightage or the cutoff that you would see might be much lower, but it is going to stay with you. तो and जैसा मैम ने बोला, it is a symbol of the efforts that you can put it. It is a symbol of the rigor that you can handle. It is a symbol of the pressure that you can handle. And finally, no one wants to recruit an employee or no one wants to give a contract to a company, अगर आप खुद की company भी करोगे, to someone who is not chasing excellence, who is not putting in effort, who is not able to handle pressure. तो वो करना ही है. Education is supposed to be a simulation of real world. Real world में pressure is going to come and it is not going to be forgiving. वहाँ पे वो नहीं कहेंगे कि ये तो term 1 के ही marks है, final में अच्छे ले आना. वहाँ पे अगर contract गया तो गया, right? So this is a safe space. यहाँ पे fail होना is okay. Fail I don't mean कि exam में जाके fail हो जाना. Try करो, अच्छे targets लो, and if that you are not able to achieve, उससे थोड़ा कम रह जाता है, that's okay. But not trying और गिविंग दिस एक्सक्यूज कि ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, दैट्स नॉट गुड टू हेल्प.
हम क्वालिटी किसको कहते हैं? जब वही चीज़ बार 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 रिपीट कर सके विदाउट एनी डेविएशन, राइट? You have 10th marks good, you have 12th marks good, you have graduation marks good, you have post graduation mark good. What does it tell about you, about your quality? इसमें से कोई एक जगह का 10th का अच्छा आ गया या ग्रेजुएशन का अच्छा आ गया, it can be a fluke. But 4 exams and consistently good marks, definitely the person is pure gold. You don't have to say anything. They say it all.
Ma'am, in terms of higher education, a lot of things have changed. In the multiple discussions that we have had, you have been highlighting about the various courses that are now coming up. If you could throw some light on, first you ma'am and then sir, in terms of how undergraduation, post-graduation, that is changing, how the industry and academia are coming together, because there are some very interesting things that I heard from you.
So, basic foundational padhai, it is still there. That for anything in higher education, you have to enroll for a degree program. It may be BCom, it may be BBA, it may be your post-grad courses. What has changed is that पहले हम केवल जब internship के लिए जाते थे, that is the only time हमें real world के साथ में एक connect मिलता था. That we actually used to enter a company or a workspace and get the experience. अब internship कितनी हो सकती है? 2 months, engineering है तो 6 months हो गया, medicine है तो 1 year, 1.5 year हो गया, उससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो सकता है ना. But it says that if something is done again and again, the kind of practice it gives makes the person perfect. And therefore, nowadays, all colleges worth their salt. They have started collaborating directly with the industry. And Aditya sitting with us is an example, live example of that. That we have started involving. When I'm saying we, I don't mean Shanti Business School. I'm saying the good colleges, good universities in general have started directly collaborating with the industry and telling them that rather than coming to us after 3 years and saying कि आपने ये तो पढ़ाया ही नहीं, बच्चों को ये भी नहीं पढ़ाया, ये भी नहीं पढ़ाया, tell us what we should teach them today. And therefore, the subjects that we teach, generally 50% of the courses are suggested by the companies themselves, that this is what you should teach. You are already taking 30 hours class, this is what you should teach during the class. But still, there are certain subjects or certain skills which cannot be covered there. Because like we are affiliated to Gujarat Technical University, they wouldn't allow us to change the curriculum. That is where the companies have made their own certificate programs. Like small example, Deloitte, they have a certificate program in fintech management or quantitative finance, which a BBA student can do along with their BBA. So by the time they come out, they don't have to go for an MBA. They can start their career. PG program and MBA program is best learned if you go there after a work experience of at least 2 years.
Yes.
But BCom करके आप work experience क्या लोगे? Therefore, you have some programs offered by the industry. I mean, you are commerce student, you would, if you are going into management side, it's not just finance, you may tomorrow go into marketing also. So there are industry programs on digital marketing, advanced digital marketing and branding, which are there. So you can start working. Similarly, ENY has it, Deloitte has it, KPMG has it, everybody, Grant Thornton has a program. These are called industry integrated program, and they're very interesting. And they offer a whole lot of scope in terms of career advancement for the students.
So like ma'am mentioned, there are a lot of, so now industry and academia has to come together to solve the problem that is at large, where today we don't have people with the right skill set that we want.
Right.
So what industry is doing currently, like what ma'am mentioned, Deloitte has it, IBM has it, EY, Microsoft, KPMG, PwC, Grant Thornton, all of them have started coming up with their courses. The idea behind these courses, which ma'am is also running at her school over here with Deloitte, the idea is that, so we are doing fintech with them. I'll throw some small light on why this program was developed. This is a very interesting thing for you guys also to listen. So, like I mentioned, I am from Gujarat and I went to Bombay for higher studies. I pursued my ACCA job. Everything happened in Bombay. So, this is back in 2004, 2005. So, how would my father transfer money to me? That used to happen through a bank only, of course. And that time, if you remember, I mean, ma'am also could relate to it. ATM cards were there, but there were charges. If you want to withdraw from an ATM, like right now, ATMs are free. You can withdraw how many ever time you want to withdraw money from an ATM. Most of the ATMs are offering free ATM withdrawal. During my time, there were only 2 transactions allowed in a month. So now, there was a risk if I withdraw everything at once and keep it in my hostel. There was of course a risk of money being stolen. I cannot restrict myself to only twice in a month. What if I needed more? तो charge लगता था. So what I used to do was I used to go to a traditional bank with a checkbook and give the check to the cashier. Used to give it. वो check से withdraw करना free है. अभी भी free है, तभी भी free था. So I used to go to a bank and withdraw money. Today, I can bet none of you guys would have entered a bank. None of you would have entered a bank apart from doing a signature while opening. वो भी आज नहीं जाना पड़ता है. That also happens with an OTP. So in 20 years, the banking system has evolved so much, so drastically that even if you all would have gone to a bank, your kids will 100% never step into a bank. The banking ecosystem has changed so much now that you don't have to carry your wallet also, for that matter. So I myself forgot my wallet one day when I was going to office, when I was working in ICICI. I used to stay in Goregaon and my office was in Churchgate. So it's a big difference, big distance, almost 1 hour distance between two stations. And I forgot my wallet and I reached station and then I realized I don't have my wallet. So I had my phone, UPI सब आ गया था तब तक. So I went to the station, I did a QR code scanning, I got a ticket. I didn't need cash. I sat in train, taxi के लिए मैं उतरा Churchgate station, taxi was accepting QR UPI. In my canteen, UPI was accepted. While coming back, same taxi station, everything, everywhere UPI was accepted. And I realized that I didn't need to carry cash. So similarly, you guys would never visit a branch for anything. You get loan also with a click. I mean, on a click you will get money in your bank account. What we realized is the way fintech is growing at such a large pace, we will not be able to match up the requirement that fintech will come up with.
Human resource requirement.
The resources that you will require, that Paytm, so we are partnered with Paytm also for tech courses in fintech and AI. They also tell us the same thing, that we don't have the right workforce with right skill set to employ them in our company. That is when industry and academia merged hands. Because you guys will never visit a bank ever, and because the fintech space is growing at such a pace where the demand for the job is not going to be met if we don't change the way universities are teaching right now. We will have to come up with different programs to adapt to what is coming up in future. And that is when the certifications, what you mentioned, that these are the core degrees, CA, CPA, CMA, FRM, CFA, ACCA, these are the core degrees. What if someone wants to move out of these core degrees and still want to make a career in finance? That is when fintech degrees come into picture. That's a very good merger of finance and technology. So you learn about finance also, you learn about technology also. Because where will the companies like Paytm, PhonePe, Amazon Pay, Google Pay, there was an article which I think there were some 1900 startups which were only fintech startups which were registered from 2020 to 2025. 1900 companies, fintech companies that were registered. Who will work in those companies? They will require workforce. And for that, industry had to come in and take help of universities and academia. That we need you all to come up with a course which students can learn today so that they can be ready for jobs in this field in future.
Yeah. And that's a big change that we are seeing specifically in the commerce field.
Yes.
Science, maybe it is happening. So we see a Suzuki partnering with some university, but the proportion is much smaller.
Yeah.
And as we have already discussed, always discussed, ki commerce is far more closer to the real world than, let's say, an engineering or a science. And engineering, mein you will keep hearing कि IIT में इतने बच्चों का placement नहीं हुआ. Right? There are a lot of talented people and there are a lot of companies looking for jobs, but there is no employability. The people are not ready to be accepted in the workforce, and therefore you often hear कि एक BTech का student is often given a lesser salary than maybe a driver, and that is the reality. That is the situation today, and that's when you opt for your further colleges, courses. try to ensure that you take up a course, you take up a college which is working very closely with the industry, because then the skills that you are taught will be useful in the industry. Otherwise, what is taught is sometimes very theoretical, John having 500 apples, versus what is actually required in the industry. है ना, तो फाउंडेशन बिल्ड हो रहा है 11th-12th में. सो येस, सम ऑफ दीज थिंग्स दैट यू आर स्टडिंग टुडे वो एज इट इज कभी काम नहीं लगेगी, बट वो आपके ब्रेन का कोई ना कोई मसल बिल्ड कर रहा है. सो मे बी डिफरेंशिएशन कभी काम नहीं लगेगा, बट डिफरेंशिएशन इज डेफिनेटली हेल्पिंग यू टू थिंक लॉजिकली, राइट. सो देयर विल बी सर्टेन थिंग्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स विच यू वुड बी स्टडिंग, वो आप देखोगे रियल लाइफ में तो बिहेवियरल इकोनॉमिक्स होता है, ये कोई ग्राफ्स इतने एज इट इज यूज नहीं होते, बट द फैक्ट दैट यू हैव स्टडीड देम, उससे आपका फाउंडेशन बन रहा है, एंड उसकी वजह से आपका ब्रेन इज गोइंग टू बी एबल टू प्रोसेस मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स अरेनास. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू अ कॉलेज, वहां पे सिर्फ फाउंडेशन की बातें नहीं कर सकते, वहां पे यू एक्चुअली नीड टू लर्न स्किल्स which you can go in the company and help the company to make more money or save some cost. So ये बड़ा सा एक डिफरेंस रहता है. Till 12th our objective is कि आपका फाउंडेशनल कोर्स बहुत अच्छा हो, आपका लॉजिक बहुत अच्छे से बिल्ड हो जाए, जहाँ पे रिक्वायर्ड हो मेमोरी थोड़ी बिल्ड हो जाए. But when it comes to higher education, you need to keep these things in mind.
So one more area for you, he asked a question, how many of you have maths? Those of you who have maths right now, one more stream opens up for you is of economics. Economics is a extremely in demand, will remain in demand area. So pursuing your graduation or a program which majors in economics is also an option, because without, like, if you have very good percentage and you are applying for DU इकोनॉमिक्स, BA इकोनॉमिक्स करने के लिए आपको मैथ्स इकोनॉमिक्स होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है 12th में, पर मैथ्स होना आपके लिए कंपलसरी है. विदाउट मैथ्स यू विल नॉट बी गिवन एडमिशन टू दैट कोर्स. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो वेरी गुड, बिकॉज एवरी गुड कंपनी नीड्स अ चीफ इकोनॉमिस्ट. दे हैव अ होल सेक्शन, जैसे लीगल सेक्शन होता है, फाइनेंस सेक्शन होता है, उनका इकोनॉमिक सेक्शन भी होता है. I just wanted, because some people are always interested in that. The second thing, one more addendum that I want to give, एक organization है दुनिया में, World Economic Forum, WEF. कभी कभी आप लोग उसकी रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ते रहा करो. Time and again they tell you which are the jobs which are coming up, which are the sectors which are growing, which are the areas, what are the kind of skills in a particular sector which are becoming important. So whenever you have time, do make it a habit and keep it as a lifelong habit. It's a very interesting place. आप पढ़ना शुरू करोगे, you will, because you are commerce student, you will start enjoying that report. World Economic Forum.
Careers in finance in India or abroad?
I'm a very big better. I would bet any day on India, not abroad.
Yeah, I am also patriotic in a sense कि मैं biased हूँ, so I generally don't answer these questions.
A very small personal thing that I would like to tell everyone. I have a PR of Canada, by the way. So I also had that dream, and whatever you want to call it as, that नहीं abroad जाएंगे, India नहीं. So I also had that in me, that I want to go somewhere abroad. That's why I pursued ACCA, so that I get something better opportunity abroad. And I have been there for some time, not for work, but I've been there to just see the place around, live how it is. So abroad the infrastructure is fantastic, but when it comes to quality of life is also brilliant. But when it comes to opportunities in finance, or be it any field, I think India is far better and far growing at a much higher capacity or speed than what abroad is, or US or Canada is. I think India is much better to be in. So I'm a live example. I gave up my PR card. It expires in December 25. If I don't go now, it expires. So I cannot go there again ever. And I'm choosing to be in India only, because I'm betting big on India.
It's not just about patriotism.
Yeah.
It's about the opportunities also. if you're looking at a population of 140 crores, then everybody needs to be clothed, fed, etc., etc., etc. So that those things need to be produced, and there have to be companies doing that. So opportunities here are great. Having said that, it doesn't. We don't stop you from going out, seeing, exploring yourself, and then deciding. But if you stay back in India, you have a great future.
Economically, it makes sense
To be in India.
Because India is growing economy. Those economies are stable now. They are the rate at which we are growing. They are not growing at that same rate. It looks fancy from sitting over here, but the reality is much different once you go there.
1.6% and 6.5%.
Exactly.
That is the kind of difference between the largest economy and the largest democracy, the growth rate. And you are at a phase when it's on a upswing. जब हम upswing पे जा रहे होते हैं, तो आप वेव के साथ आगे बढ़ते हो, आपको रेजिस्टेंस के अगेंस्ट आगे नहीं बढ़ना पड़ता है.
One last question before we open it up to them. Do CFOs become CEOs?
Oh, you tell.
You get the question? CFO is Chief Financial Officer and CEO is Chief Executive Officer who heads the...
I'll give you a practical example and you tell them.
So they do. But that depends a lot on your overall personality. What ma'am mentioned, if you are only restricting yourself to one area of expertise, you will not become a CEO. You need to have all the qualities. With finance, you will become a CFO, but then you will, some people might see कि CFO के बाद ठीक है, मेरा वही aspiration था, but I don't want to go beyond that.
Yeah.
But if you want to go beyond that, you need to have all the qualities. You need to have good managerial skills also. If you are not a good manager, you will never become, your company will never grow, for sure. Your team will never grow, no one will want to work with you. So managerial skills, your interpersonal skills, that is, your communication skills, your problem solving skills, how you are solving the problem, all of this will come into play when you want to go above being a CFO. So you can become, there are so many cases where people have become, from a CFO, they have become a CEO, but that requires a lot of interpersonal efforts rather than a degree. That is what I would like to say.
Degree helps you till CFO.
Yes.
CEO, nobody can guarantee until and unless you garner a lot of other skills. The example that I wanted to share was this college is promoted by an industrial group of the city, Chiripal Group, and they have 4 listed companies. And CEOs of all the 4 listed companies are chartered accountants and MBA finance people. So they were CFOs and then they were promoted and they are the CEOs. But as CEOs, I'm sure they are not just looking at the finance part of it. It is much more which is required. So there was a time when it was said that in the Forbes 500 list, the top companies, 80% of the CEOs came from the marketing domain. Then came a time where it was said that marketing people who also understand finance become the CEOs. It is almost being turned around now that CFOs who understand marketing and interpersonal skills are the best CEOs. So the wheel has turned around completely. फिर तो CTOs भी बनते हैं, CHROs भी बनते हैं. So after a certain level, your domain skills don't help you any longer. Then your managerial, interpersonal skills, your critical thinking, your strategic thinking, they help you in growing.
So I always tell my students when I teach IFRS, your degree is only relevant or is your degree is only helpful in landing you an interview. How your career will progress completely depends on you. It doesn't depend on your degree. You can be a topper, you can be a ranker in CA. If there are two people, one who has got a rank in CA, and other one who has just passed. But the person who has just passed has better interpersonal skills, better problem solving skills, is a better communicator, better team player. I would definitely keep that person with me rather than a ranker who thinks that मैं ranker हूँ, मैं तो इतना ही काम करूँगा, मैं तो इतने ही टाइम तक आऊँगा, इतने ही टाइम पे चले जाऊँगा, I need my personal space, मैं ये बाकी का भी कुछ कर रहा हूँ. I would prefer a person who has less marks, but still he is good at doing the job, at getting the job done. So degree is only relevant to get you an interview. After that, how you perform will shape up your career.
So I think you are at that age where it depends on how big you dream and how many skills do you pick up. अभी तो the sky is the limit. Gradually वो आपके खुद के mind के bottlenecks लग जाएंगे. So try to pick as many skills as you can. One of the interesting tips that I have heard somewhere is कि at this age, how do you kind of do all of these things, right? Already बहुत सारा pressure है, school का homework, tuition का homework, and all of these events and seminars that you have to attend. One tip that I found very interesting is that maybe this is a good age to start teaching to your fellow students. Because when you teach, there are a lot of tuitions लेने के लिए नहीं बोल रहा, don't become our competition. But teach your friends. Because when you teach, no, number one is कि आपका खुद का concept strong होता है. You cannot teach something till the time you have understood it really well. Interpersonal skills develop होते हैं because you have to communicate. Psychology at play, है ना, सबसे practical aspect of psychology is when you are a teacher. You get to see someone who is absolutely demotivated, उसको नहीं पढ़ना है, yawning all the time, looking at the watch, and still you feel कि यार नहीं पढ़ाना तो पड़ेगा, है ना, उसको interest नहीं है, but motivate भी करना है. So lot of these management skills at a very very small scale, you will start picking it up. And if you are able to get a friend to pass when he or she does not even care about passing, the co-founder तो मिल ही जाएगा जो आपको कभी नहीं छोड़ेगा, right? So yes, that's from our side. Any questions from the audience?
बकेट लिस्ट बना लो अपनी स्किल की.
Yes.
आप सब चीज़ों की बकेट लिस्ट बनाते हो ना,
Yes.
स्किल्स की बकेट लिस्ट.
Yes ma'am.
सर मुझे एक्चुअल साइंस का जो सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स
जी.
उसका डिफरेंस क्या और बीएससी इन एक्चुअल साइंस होता है वो
जी
difference क्या है?
जी जी.
आप
Sir, would you
बताओ.
want to answer?
एक्चुअल साइंस.
Actually, science. Actually, I know. So do you
Yeah,
mean
same thing.
actually?
Yeah.
हाँ,
Actually,
actually.
yeah.
So actually is that's also a very good degree which has a very good demand, but it is a lot tough to crack. There are very handful of, so every company, I don't know if others know it or not. Actually is someone who every company will require to value their gratuity or leave encashment and such provisions. They will require an actuary. But to become an actuary, a licensed actuary, it is difficult. There are a lot of exams that you need to crack. And after that only you can become an actuary. There are a handful of actuaries only in India who are famous. So handful मतलब like how CAs तो आपको हर गली में मिलेंगे. Actuaries आपको हर गली में नहीं मिलेंगे. So it's very difficult to crack. So in terms of career opportunities, you can imagine there are a lot of opportunities for actuaries. And every company requires only, and there is only an actuary who can do this calculation. But that degree involves a lot of maths. There's hardcore maths in actuary. Scope-wise and opportunity-wise, yes, there are a lot of opportunities for actuaries. But as I said, it is difficult. So that is how I would like to place actuary. I would say actuary is more difficult than being a CA. The passing is also difficult than a chartered accountancy course.
और जनरली कहाँ इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज में इज द इंश्योरेंस रीअश्योरेंस कंपनीज आर द
Yes, they also
प्लेसेस
have it,
वेयर
plus-
एक्चुरियंस आर
Plus, you can practice also as an actuary. Like how chartered accountancy has a practice, you can practice also as an actuary.
बट सर जो डिग्री कोर्स होता है उसको बीएससी इन एक्चुअली भी होता है और ओनली एक्चुअली सर्टिफिकेशन होता है. तो व्हाट आर द वैल्यू ऑफ डिफरेंस क्या है वो दोनों की वैल्यू?
The actuarial degree has more value than a certification.
मैम वो तो एक्चुअली डिग्री की वैल्यू मतलब सर्टिफिकेशन की वैल्यू है, उसके साथ अलाइन करते हुए कोर्सेज देन यूनिवर्सिटीज वुड लॉन्च. जैसे मैम ने बीएससी फाइनेंस समझाया, समवन वांट्स टू डू अ सीएफए, दे कैन डू इट विद बीकॉम, दे कैन डू इट विद अ बीबीए. बट इफ देयर इज अ बीएससी इन फाइनेंस तो उससे आपका सीएफए का जो कोर्स होगा, करिकुलम होगा, वो बेटर अलाइंड होगा. सो इट बिकम्स ईजियर. आपको कम सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. So that is how it is.
Basically becomes an integrated pathway.
Integrated pathway.
So आपको उसका BSc in actuary के साथ साथ you will be able to learn about actuary also, and then you'll have to ultimately give the exam for actuary value.
सर्टिफिकेशन मतलब सर्टिफाइड एक्चुरियन बनने के लिए आपको बीएससी करने के बाद भी वो एग्जाम तो देना ही पड़ेगा. You will still have to. It's not as if you have done BSc in actuary sciences, so आप automatically you are authorized to practice actuarial. So you still need to take the certification. But here your subjects are only related to the actuarial sciences.
Yes.
They are exactly same. The only difference in ACCA and CA, you're AC and CA, right? Yes. Only difference in ACCA and CA is that taxation and law. In CA, you are learning Indian law and Indian taxation. In ACCA, you are learning UK law and UK taxation. But your law gets exempted anyway because you are pursuing a BCom or a BBA degree, undergrad degree. Tax, for particularly, like ma'am also mentioned during the start, I don't know how many of you all picked it up or not. Accounting or most of the tax laws also of India are adopted from UK system. So our tax that we have is 90% similar to UK taxation rules only. So your accounting standards are 99% similar to what a CA is learning. So there is literally no difference in CA and ACCA curriculum.
Yes.
What would be the, like they say that ACC is way more easier than
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if the subjects are same, then how is it made way more easier?
So ये काट लेना, ये मत आने देना लाइव रिकॉर्डिंग में. So CA has a rule of controlling the passing percentage. ACCA doesn't have that rule. That's the only difference. ACCA is equally tough. ACCA is not easy. It is equally tough. The only difference between CA and ACCA when it comes to passing is that ACCA body doesn't control passing percentage. If you have performed well, if you have written your answer, you will get your marks. Whereas CA doesn't actually believe in that. But there's a
percentile वाला difference.
Demand and supply that they try to maintain, and that's why CA का passing percentage is in single digits. It used to be, now it has increased.
Now it has increased.
Yeah, it has increased now, but it used to be in single digit. ACCA, on the other hand, always had a passing percentage of more than 40 to 50%. So that's the reason why people say ACCA is easy. It's not easy, but
In terms of applying intelligence, both are equal.
equal, yeah.
I mean, you have to work equally hard to understand the subject. Whether the body allows you to become a practicing one, there lies the difference, and therefore it is generally thought that CA is more difficult as compared to any other.
So your answer is right, your question is right. ACCA has easy passing, but it is this reason. Yeah.
Actually, maybe she is telling about like in CA foundation we have to clear 4 subjects together and we have to get the aggregate marks. And in ACCA we can go
Individual passing. Correct. So there are a lot of benefits that ACCA also has. There's individual passing, like how integrated program we mentioned, where you get exempted from some subjects. So there are multiple benefits which ACCA gives a lot of flexibility. Plus the attempts are every 3 months in ACCA. CA is only twice. So now they have increased, but ACCA has 3-4 attempts in a year. Individual passing, if you get 50% in one subject, you don't have to give it again. As compared to CA, CA में group level passing है. यहाँ पे individual paper level passing है, which makes it all the more easy. Like you can give one paper also every quarter. So you clear and become an ACCA faster.
Finance can be changed with AI because in finance there is an income, expense, investment, and other also. And AI can do that. That smart app for the budgeting. Even the personal investment advisor also. Chatbot which can AI tool can which can tell the AI tools also.
Yeah.
How then the finance can be helpful in the AI generation?
So that's what I said. AI, I said it at the start only. AI will never be able to replace your job. AI, आपने AI को बता दिया कि ये entry करनी है. You fit one logic in your system and AI will keep on doing that. what if a new complication arises? So today, let's say for example, today GST rate is, for example, 18% on anything that you are selling. Tomorrow, in November or December, the government has announced that we are going to reduce the GST slabs and we are going to change everything. What will happen in that scenario? You will have to feed in the logic to your AI system. Who will do that? Do you think an IT person will be able to do that? उसको पता ही नहीं होगा जीएसटी क्या है, उसको पता ही नहीं होगा जीएसटी का कैलकुलेशन कैसे होता है, उसको पता नहीं होगा रिवर्स चार्ज कैसे करना होता है जीएसटी में, वो आईटी वाले को नहीं पता होगा. दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच एन ओनली एन अकाउंटेंट विल नो. Forget about rates changing or anything. You upload a data to let's say AI सॉफ्टवेयर में आपने एक परफॉर्मेंस एनालिसिस के लिए आपने एक रिपोर्ट डाल दिया चैट जीपीटी पे. चैट जीपीटी यू आर सेलिंग, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर सेलिंग 10 डिफरेंट कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स. ओके, you upload that data to chat gpt. Chat gpt tells you Coke and Pepsi is doing brilliant, thumbs up is doing very bad, stop selling thumbs up. But from a company perspective, from a CEO's lens, I would not stop selling thumbs up. Why? It will make a very bad image of me कि ये पहले 10 प्रोडक्ट बेच रहा था, अब इसने एक प्रोडक्ट डिसकंटिन्यू क्यों कर दिया? That means that product is not selling. That means you'll start doubting the other products also. What if other products are also not doing good? So from a CEO, that will ChatGPT be able to decide on a company's behalf whether it should discontinue or continue a product? That they will give you, AI will only give you an answer which is black or white. But in real life, things don't work in black and white. It has to work in gray also, which AI will never be able to do it. So that's why I said it at the start also, and I still continue to firmly believe AI will never replace your job. It's just that you'll have to upskill yourself. That's it.
We discussed this in the first talk also. I don't know if all of you were there. If you are working in a domain which has a mix of technical skill set का requirement and a human skill का requirement, you are safe.
Yeah.
अगर pure data entry का आपका काम है, definitely the job is going. Repetitive, no thought process, no intelligence, no logic, so that job is definitely going. But if you have a human aspect, and therefore आजकल finance में we don't just talk about finance, we talk about behavioral finance. है ना? We combine psychology with finance. Why do people buy Starbucks even though most of us feel that it is overvalued? There's a behavioral aspect to it. There are some things that Starbucks का coffee का logo will do something to your confidence, to the status, etc. Right? So ये सारी चीज़ों के लिए when you have that angle also, when you add that skill set, then definitely you are safe. And
AI वाले एरिया में एक चीज़ मैं आपको बताऊंगी, हम बार बार जब से यहाँ बैठे हैं ना, वी आर टेलिंग यू अबाउट अपस्किलिंग. आप सोचते होंगे कि हम तो अभी पढ़ना शुरू किया है और अभी से क्यों अपस्किलिंग की बात कर रहे हैं. ये जब पढ़ लेंगे, नौकरी करने लग जाएंगे, फिर अपस्किल करेंगे ना. नो, एज ऑल ऑफ अस हैव बीन सेइंग दैट एंट्री लेवल बेसिक जॉब्स जो है ना, वो AI रिप्लेस कर देगा. तो आपको एंट्री लेवल जॉब लेने के लिए भी अपस्किल्ड होना पड़ेगा. जो कॉमन केवल पढ़ने से आता है, दैट जॉब विल गो टू AI, और AI इट वुड बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय मॉडल्स ऑफ AI. सो इवन एट एंट्री लेवल द कंपनी वुड रिक्वायर यू टू डू एनालिसिस. अभी एक कंपनी आपको एंट्री लेवल पे क्या काम कर दे रही थी? डेटा एंट्री का. अब वो नहीं देगी, अब वो आपको उसका एनालिसिस करने के लिए, इंटरप्रिटेशन करने के लिए देगी. एंड देयरफॉर यू शुड नो एनालिटिक्स. दैट्स व्हाई अगेन एंड अगेन वी आर हार्पिंग ऑन दैट कीप लर्निंग more skills even while you are doing your graduation. Don't wait that after my graduation completion 3 साल के बाद I'll upskill. तब तक कुछ नई स्किल्स आ जाएंगी. Yeah, you wanted to ask.
Ma'am, basically I have 3 questions. Starting off with the first.
You want to leave?
So, we have been talking about.
He has a flight to catch.
10
Yes,
minutes.
हाँ ना?
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, we have been talking about upskilling ourselves continuously. So, as a 11th commerce guy, what would be the 3 most important skills which I can learn in 11th, 12th itself to be a good person for finance and management? Like if I choose to pursue MBA plus finance in my career, what would be the 3 most important skills?
From finance point of view, I would ask you to tell.
So one thing which you should definitely learn if you want to make a career in finance is Microsoft Office, Excel, particularly Excel and PPT. This is something which you would be using as a finance person day in day out. Your work will never happen if you don't know Excel. So Excel is 100% something that you should be knowing. Second, ma'am also mentioned your communication skills. If you are not able to communicate clearly, you will struggle. So according to me, these two skills are extremely important if you want to have a career in finance. Excel is at this stage right now. Excel and communication skills is something which you should work on.
In
Excel
our
is
PG
no-brainer.
course, MBA course, we spend 33% time every semester only in skilling the students on Excel. Direct fundamental and advanced Excel के ऊपर फिर थोड़ा सा Power BI, etc. So that is the kind of, because those students, they were at your stage 6 years ago. That time still this thing had not kicked in. So they're not used to handling computers, MS Office so much. So,
Sir, second question would be, just imagine if you were a student right now and you had to select a field in commerce. What would be the most appropriate field that, with your perspective, you would do?
So again, I would ask myself a question: whether I have a clear vision of going into accounting or finance. If the answer is accounting, I would do something like a chartered accountancy, ACCA, CMA, CPA. If my answer is finance, I would do CFA. And if my answer is I'm confused, I don't know what to do, I'll decide it at later stage. I would do chartered accountancy or an ACCA or MBA or BBA in finance. If you're confused, pick up a degree in finance, which is BBA in finance or MBA in finance. Like afterwards, you do MBA in finance. By that time, in these 5 years, with multiple internships that you will do, you will anyway have your answer where you are interested. And then you can pick up a professional degree in that field.
BBA and strengthen it with ACCA or...
Yeah.
Sir, also, let us imagine that if India was not a growing economy and you had to select a company to work as a finance guy, so which country would be the most preferred one?
Country or
Yes.
company?
Country.
Country.
For going abroad.
It would be maybe Asia only, something in Asia only. Dubai is good. Middle East is good. One, because there are no taxes. We know the pain of taxes. So Middle East is good, is something that I would choose. I would not choose Europe because Europe is still not recovering well. Second option would be maybe a Canada or a US.
Thank you, sir.
So, sir, if we see some huge dignitaries like Al Panjali, Zepto founder, Nitin Kamath, Zero the founder, Tilak Mehta, 15-year-old guy who started paper and parcel. So, they all were dropouts. And so, I have basically 4 options. Which would you choose? Option A, first do a degree, then get a job for experience, and then start a business. Or do a degree simultaneously with business. Or do a degree, for example, BBA and MBA, and then directly go into business, or else drop out of it.
Dropout I would definitely not choose and not recommend, because it's too risky. हम सब यहाँ finance की बात कर रहे हैं ना, तो उसका एक part होता है risk. You have to take a calculated risk. You cannot just do it. It's not as if people who have dropped have not succeeded. But then we only see the 2-3% of success story. We don't see people who failed miserably and did not have any backup option. For me, even if I'm driving a luxury car, I should have a spare tire at the back of it. So dropping your 4th option is not for me. The other 3 options very well depend on what kind of, while you are in 10th, 12th, graduation, post-graduation, who is stopping you from developing your concept, prototyping it. The government today, you are or not are aware of it, government today is serious about the business of entrepreneurship. Every college like me, we are helping the students in not just conceptualizing their ideas, but we have incubation centers, we have mentors, industry mentors to give to you to develop your ideas, test your ideas, go on various platforms, talk to people and understand कि जो चीज़ आपको इतनी अच्छी लग रही है वो सच में worthwhile है या नहीं है. आप कितने साल, आप अभी 12th में हो, सपोज 12th तक नहीं करते हो, 3 साल के ग्रेजुएशन में भी ये करोगे तो you are sure to know that the business idea that you were thinking, is it worth pursuing or not. So while you are in studies, don't make these silos कि अभी केवल पढ़ाई करेंगे और बाद में केवल नौकरी करेंगे या बाद में बिजनेस करेंगे. There is a lot of fun in multitasking. If you can find like-minded people with you, the best partnerships in startups are the partnerships which developed in colleges. So discuss your ideas with like-minded people, form group, do it that way. And by the end of 3rd or 4th year of your studies, you would know whether seriously you have to pursue this idea or is it not an idea worth pursuing. क्योंकि तब तक pre-seed funding कोई ना कुछ मिल गया होगा आपको. आपको पता चल जाएगा कि अच्छा अब जॉब करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, this idea will carry me through. So just you cannot ask me a question कि इन चारों में से कौन सा है. You will have to do it, have an idea, test it and know whether you want to go for a job or not.
And your research is a little bit biased towards youngsters. There's also an example of a founder who found success at the age of 68. You know which company?
Yes.
Exactly. So there is no right age to become a founder. You can be at the age of 15 also and at the age of 60 also. So it completely depends on the circumstances around you.
But the main
So
aim is
don't
to earn
restrict.
money.
Sorry?
The main aim is to earn money.
So you can be successful.
Today at your age, you may think the main aim is to earn money. But ultimately, if at all Steve Jobs was alive today, and you could have asked this question to him, does only earning money make sense? He may have said no. Paying attention to your health is more important. A dropout like him can make money, but on the other side, you have Bill Gates, who is a highly qualified person who made a success. So it depends on what is your idea and how seriously you are pursuing it, rather than at what age and what time you are doing it.
Most of these dropouts would not have thought in 11th that we want to drop out. I mean, all of them, including all the examples that you said, they went to colleges and in the process they got such a brilliant idea and which was backed by so much that they didn't have to pursue their education. ऐसा हो जाए तो then you can consider.
Consider it.
As of now, that should not be what.
But dropout should be your last option. I still say that even if you have a brilliant idea, dropout should be your last option, because you don't have any backup for yourself. And as I said, 12th के marks देख के अच्छा लगता है ना, वैसे ही एक बिजनेस पर्सन अगर वो खड़े होके अपनी देखता है कि हार्वर्ड से डिग्री है, आईआईटी से डिग्री है या आईएम से डिग्री है, तो भी अच्छा लगता है, सीए है, अच्छा लगता है.
Sir, could you brief about CFA, like who is a CFA and what it does?
So their roles are more into, like I mentioned, investment banking, trading, trading of equity or government securities, corporate bonds, any debt market instruments. Their role is into data analysis. You can also be into investor. You can be an investor or a wealth management person also. So CFA is purely into finance, where investment related areas will be more suited for that role. And I don't mean investment related, matlab you are investing. That can be analysis also of the investment that your company has done. So that's more a pathway for a CFA. These are the roles that
you said that CA degree is equivalent to MBA in finance.
Yeah.
So sir, like if someone does MBA in finance with ACCA, so would that be a good career option?
It will be a very good career option. You with MBA you will get good managerial skills, business skills, and with ACCA you will get good finance and accounting skills. So it's a very good combination.
And sir, you also said about that there are courses like EBA plus MBA plus ACCA.
Yeah.
So, like, can you just give a brief about that of the ACCA body in India? What are they doing about this?
So what they do is they integrate. So every university will have a curriculum which is integrated with ACCA's curriculum. So your BBA subjects will remain more or less same only. The ACCA subjects, the first two level के subjects will get merged with your BBA curriculum or an MBA curriculum. You will learn those subjects in the university or in the business school. You will give the exam of those papers in the business school only. The last four papers, that is last level, you will give it to ACCA body. So that's how the integration pathway works. And ACCA body in India is currently tied up with 100 plus universities where you can do it. Shanti Business School will also soon get accreditation.
So what happens is they take our curriculum.
Yeah.
They would take our curriculum, they will map it against the subjects and curriculum of ACCA, and then they say, ki, okay, these are equivalent subjects that they are studying, so they do not need to replicate it. If there are certain critical subjects which are missing from the curriculum, then they have to be given, and of course the four final have to be appeared for there.
So imagine आप स्कूल में जा रहे हो, वहाँ पे you have to solve some questions of NCERT and then you come to tuitions and वहाँ पे भी आपको same questions दे रहे हैं, so that's a waste, right? Why would you be given the same set of questions? So अगर if we integrate both these things, if we know कि स्कूल में ही homework दे ही रहे हैं, we would rather want to give you some more application based questions. So that is essentially the synergy which comes when there is an integrated course. So you don't have to repeat these things.
So, like, what would be the duration of this course? Or integrated?
There are so many examples where people have cleared ACCA before graduating also. So you can do it while you become a graduate. You can be done with ACCA also, and that gives you all the more time to pursue one more degree like a CFA or a CPA. Or CPA I wouldn't recommend because दोनों same है, ACCA CPA same है. So a CFA or an FRM or any you can pursue MBA also, MBA in finance after that. That gives you very much time in life to pursue one more degree, which is always good.
और अब 4 years का जो कोर्स आ गया है, now 4 years degree is becoming compulsory in India. तो यहाँ पर तो definitely आपका ACCA आपकी डिग्री से पहले complete हो, 100% complete. कम से कम 1.5 साल पहले आपका complete हो जाता है. हाँ, 1.5 years before your graduation. So you have a full 18 months available to you to add another degree to your repertoire.
Sir, as you say that कि हमारा जो CA का result था, according to our market requirement, उसका जो result आता है वो उस हिसाब से बाहर आता है. तो इंडिया में इतना ज़्यादा SCCA का promotion क्यों है? क्योंकि हमारे पास जो requirement है, वो requirement we will fulfill by the CA. Then why we should promote this more and more SCCA? हर एक यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ उसका टाइप पोस्ट ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
There are not enough CAs available right now also, and that's a fact. Deloitte, Grant Thornton, KPMG have come up with a policy to recruit ACCAs. They have come up with a special policy to recruit them. They have come up with a policy where they are giving them exam leaves also, because they have to give leaves every 3 exams every 3 months. They have come up with a leave policy for especially for ACCA. So because there are not enough CAs available right now, that is why ACCA is being picked up, and that's why ACCA is promoting it. So, and another base difference which will always remain is that ACCA cannot sign a balance sheet in India, but they can become a partner in a Big Four. They cannot sign the balance sheet. For that, you will always require a CA. So both of them have their each pros and cons, and it's not that इतना demand है ही नहीं, लेकिन ACCA इतना promotion क्यों कर रहा है? there is a lot of demand. In fact, Gift City, I just mentioned it to someone, I think, some time back, that we had also applied for a license in Gift City, and there are some requirements to open a office in Gift City. Right now, when we met the regulator, we asked them that Gift City itna khali khali kyun lagta hai? There are no people only. They said right now there's so much requirement at Gift City for the employees, but we don't have the right skill set only right now in Ahmedabad to hire them. So people from metros like Bombay, like me for example, I would not shift from Bombay to Ahmedabad now when I've already spent 20 years and my whole life has been spent over there. So there has to be people available in Ahmedabad area who can serve the need of a CA or an ACCA for Gift City. Similarly, Chennai is coming up with a fintech city. वहाँ पे स्किल सेट लगेंगे ना, क्योंकि आज मैं जाके चेन्नई नहीं रह पाऊंगा और people over here will not be able to shift to Chennai. So that's why the demand is always going to be there for sure for all the degrees, because India is growing only at such a pace that there will be workforce which will be required.
We also have a lot of international capability centers, etc., where not just the work of Indian companies, a lot of work of companies abroad are also being done here. So for that also you require that, like he's mentioning Deloitte or KPMG. Not all their work is pertaining to Indian companies. You can.
Thank you so much.
Sorry guys, I have a flight.
Thank you, Aditya. You came specially
so
for
much.
addressing this crowd. Thank you very much.
If you all have any further questions, please give it to Ruchik or ma'am. I'll be happy to address
Yes.
it to you.
Yes, yes.
I'm on LinkedIn also. If you all want to connect and ask any questions, I'll be happy to help. No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll wait for them. But
Yeah,
tum
you
chalo.
them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ruchik. Nice seeing you. Sorry. Guys, always stay here. If you have any questions, you can come here.
हमें कर देता हूँ तो उसमें से